Hey everyone, welcome to the NintendoFuse Podcast. This is episode 337. On this episode, we're going to be talking all about the Indie Live Expo that happened just a few days ago. We're going to be talking about Final Fantasy 14 online coming to Switch 2. We're going to be talking about an update on R-Type, Dimensions 3, the Latin American Games Showcase, GameStop getting ready to potentially buy something that really seemed out of left field, and so much more. But as far as introductions go, my name's Steve, and I miss you guys. I haven't been here for a whole month. So Barry and Greg's been holding down the fort without me, so thanks to you guys. But back here for episode 337, and good to see you guys. So how's it going, Barry?
Great to see you, Steve. It's always best when the three of us are together. Things are okay. Unfortunately, my allergies took a swing at me starting this weekend, and I'm still reeling from it. So if you see me blow my nose or a little scratchiness in the throat, I do apologize. I'm suffering, and I'm sorry you have to suffer to hear that as well. But yeah, it's just out of nowhere. I was perfectly fine, and then it hit me like a rock,
Mm,
and I was miserable all weekend. Like it's just unbelievable. It's the
that's
worst
no
time of
fun.
year.
Yeah, allergies have been going crazy here in Colorado too. My wife has been hit with it pretty hard. I have a scratchy throat, so if I cough or kind of clear my throat throughout the whole thing, you guys know why as well. Greg, are you holding everything together over there?
Thankfully I am, but I know my daughter has been really under the weather with like the allergy stuff over the like last weekend because these days where it's like 60 degrees one day and then it's like 40 the next and then it's like 70 and like it just keeps flopping like it's like is it spring? Is it fall? Is it winter? Is it summer? Is it like what's going on here? But thankfully I've never been a huge one to get a lot of like allergy like those seasonal allergies, so I've been mostly safe. So obviously knock on some wood there, but I'm glad to be at least I'm in good health, but I understand that other people usually suffer this time of year.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's crazy to hear like weather all over the place. Barry, we I just wanted you to know, and thank you. I know you guys got a lot of snow this year, and I
Yeah.
asked you a few times, was like, can you send it over to Colorado? Well, it arrived today. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it.
But you
We
had snow today?
oh yeah, it's currently snowing. Yeah,
It's like 82 degrees over here right now.
we just flipped because it was 82 like throughout the winter, and here we are in April or May now, and
There
we're
you
getting
go.
lots of snow. We're in a winter weather advisory,
There you go.
and
Wow.
halfway through spring, but that's Colorado for you.
That's
We
weird.
actually our biggest snow days are March and April.
That's so
So
weird.
yeah, it's kind of weird. Yeah. Joining us in the chat, we got Millennium Falcon saying, "Hey everyone," and sorry to hear that you are sick, Barry.
Thank you for
Speaking
letting me know.
of Millennium
Appreciate
Falcon in the chat, if you guys are in the chat, please let us know. We love interacting with you guys throughout the episode. So as we're talking about the games we've been playing or all the different news that we're going to be discussing, upcoming games, all that stuff, be sure to let us know your thoughts in the live chat. But if you miss it, that's okay. You can toss it in the comments on our YouTube video, or you can let us know in our Discord channel or our Discord server or our social media as well. You can find all the links to those in our show notes or the YouTube description as well. If you are new to the episode, new to the podcast, please be sure to follow us or subscribe wherever you can, and share this with other Nintendo gamers that you know as well. But yeah, let's jump into what we've been playing. You know what? I'm going to go first. As just changing it up, shaking it up this time, because my list is so stinking short. And I just want to get it out of the way. So I've been playing some Clash Royale, Pokemon TCGP, and Super Mario Run. That's all I've been doing. Because I've been on the go so much. I didn't even have time to boot up my Switch or switch to let's be honest, I haven't booted up my Switch in a long time. I think Virtual Boy was the last time I booted up my Switch, but Switch 2 has been I brought it with me, intending to play here and there, but I just been so busy that I'd ended up popping my phone and playing just, a couple rounds of other things that I can just easily do for like 2 minutes here and there instead. And so I will say that I am still frustrated with Super Mario Run with the pausing that happens every time that you get a power up or you get hit or anything in that game. It pauses it and it messes up my rhythm every stinking time. And I wish they'd fix it, but they're probably not going to because they don't care. But
Did you complete the event?
no, because it's so
Really?
annoying. Like I did a little bit of it and I was like, this is just annoying. But also it's annoying and I had no time.
I
So
said it took about
I
30 minutes to do the whole event.
yeah, not for me. Um, I maybe played 30 minutes over the last couple weeks, but I'm far from beating the whole bit. So I just ended up playing what's that Toad Rush most of the time, the
But
whole time.
rally.
Just Toad Rally, yeah. So that's what I've been playing. Although I will say that I did have these guys know I had my own game of sorts with kidney stones a couple weeks ago. So that was fun. I had to, work on somehow passing that through my system. So that was a little bit of a game.
Yeah, the
Not a fun game.
stone was like a pinball.
Exactly. Yeah. Let's go to you, Barry. What have you been playing over the next couple weeks? I know it's a little bit more than I have.
Yeah, I've been a little busy. I actually had a break, like between like all these games coming out. I was like, oh, there's a breather between the games I'm really looking forward to, and I could actually tackle some backlog stuff, which I was very thankful for. On the Switch, still doing Pokemon Unite, Asphalt Legends Unite, and Pokemon Champions. Those are my daily drivers. Then some game chat games that we will be talking about in future game chats, so stay tuned to that. Games such as Race, Rocket Arena Car Extreme, which is like Monster Truck Mario Kart with stiff turning. Dracomar, which is a 3D platformer with the wrong buttons to do everything. Soldner X2 Final Prototype Definitive Edition, a shmup and a very, very famous one in the Soldner series. And a JRPG called Quartet, which is similar to like Octopath in the sense of where you have pick 8 characters, but this one is only 4 characters to start with. All my thoughts with all of our thoughts will be in future game chats, so stay tuned for that. Over the past 2 weeks, it was actually the 30th anniversary for Metal Slug, and I was like, you know what? I feel like running through a little bit of a marathon of Metal Slug. So I ran through 1, 2, X, 3, 4, 5, and I did some Metal Slug first mission, all on the Switch. Arcade Archives had them on sale. They're $4 a piece. And then I had the Neo Geo Pocket Collection, so I was able to do that. Great games. I mean, Infinite continues, but I forgot just how much those games try to kill you because you will die a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. I mean, you would. If I ever beat that as a kid in the arcades, which I never did, my mom would have hated me because I would have like. I think the slowest or the lowest continues I used on a win was 30, and like that would have been like my mom would have been mad. But thankfully on the arcade archives I could just push L1 and get as many quarters as I want. So it was great to run through them all and see the evolution of the series and just have some fun with it. I wish 6 and 7 were on there or double X for 7, but unfortunately they're not on the Switch as of this moment. Then I also went back to a game that I started 6 weeks ago, I think, or longer, Witch on the Holy Night. I read through half of that, and then too many games came out, and I had to put it on the back burner. Finally, had a time to go back through and finish that. This is a novel in the novel sense. There is no gameplay. It is 100% novel, but it is such a good story. Like I really got sucked into this, and I highly recommend it. It's part of the Tsukiyomi series. I'm anticipating the next follow-up game sometime this year. They just announced a brand new Melty Blood for early next year. So I love it. If you enjoy like really good stories and little sci-fi, a little witchcraft, give it a go. But just know that some visual novels have gameplay. This has none. This has literally push A, just push A. But it's okay because it's just a really good story. Let's see. Then the biggest game that I was waiting for was E's Memoir: Revelations in Celceta. This is a enhanced port of the remake of Ys 4 that came out for the Vita and then the PS4. They finally brought it to the Switch. Played through it again. I had played it already on the Vita. What a great game. Absolutely fantastic. If you love Ys, if you love Zelda, if you've never played an Ys game, this is a great one to start with because you actually get party members. A lot of the Ys games, you're just solo. But if you love Zelda, you like action RPGs, you like a little bit of role playing, then yes, absolutely play this game. It's fantastic. Went through it. Didn't take me long, maybe 20, 25 hours. And it flew by. I didn't even feel like it was. And I just had a blast with it. So definitely go give support to the Ys series. On the Switch too, did Kirby Air Riders had an event, so I did that. Sonic Racing Crossroads had a festival, I did that. Still playing Pokemon Pocopia, helping out my wife, doing a little decorating here and there. I did the Grand Blue Fantasy Relink Endless Ragnarok, the server test they had not this past weekend, but the weekend before, and it was just great to play that game again. Man, that was one of those games when I played it on the PS5. I'm like, man, I wish this was on Switch. And now that it's coming to Switch, I think more people need to play this. It's such a good game. I only messed around with it a little bit because nothing carries over. It was just a server test, but just yeah, what an awesome game. And then PC is still playing Final Fantasy 14, which we'll be talking about a little bit more. 7.5 just dropped last week. And then on mobile, Mario Kart Tour, LinkedIn games, New York Time games, Pokemon TCG Pocket. Did a little bit more Super Mario Run just to mess around. Some Dissidia, Dual Final Fantasy. But my biggest obsession is Dragon Quest Smash Bros. Holy crap, am I in that game? That is scratching the itch that Dragalia Lost left me with when Nintendo killed that. As a Dragon Quest fan, I've just really been enjoying it. Especially they're doing a Dragon Quest 1 event now, and it's going through like the whole map and like all the storyline from Dragon Quest 1, and I just recently played that with the remaster, so it's like fresh in my mind. I'm like, "Oh, I love this." So, I am really enjoying that game. Way more than
Nice.
I probably should.
Cool. Cool. Millennium Falcon in the chat says that you're playing Yoka Replay and
Yuka
got it for
Replay. It's
what did I
Yuka
say?
Replay.
Oh, it says Yoka, but it's Yuka. And got it for his 10-year-old, but he passed on it for his current Roblox obsession. So he's playing it instead. Speaking of Roblox obsessions, Greg, what have you been playing?
See, I had an even better transition than that because like my daughter's been super hooked on Roblox, but then like I guess she's been watching YouTube videos for a game called Tamagotchi Life Living the Dream. So I ended up getting that for her, and then now she's not playing as much Roblox, and she's been
Good.
super duper deep into it and playing like made tons of different characters in the game and really enjoying it a lot. She had me check it out a little bit, and I got to see some of the goofy nature of it. It's a lot pretty similar to like a Metopia, but obviously it's more just like a town building type game, and you can have the characters become friends and all this other fun stuff. So she's had the world just designing all these different me characters for her little town and cultivating different friendships and relationships you can have with it. But yeah, that that was part of the series of the stuff that I was kind of checking out a little bit, in addition to the I don't know why I cannot say the name of this game.
Pokemon Pocopia.
Pocopia.
Picopia. Yeah,
Pokemon
I don't know why
Utopia.
I have such. Sometimes
Yeah.
I mean, I understand the reference. I just have no idea why I cannot seem to get it out. But yeah, I initially started with that one to get her off of Roblox, and she absolutely loves that a lot. But I think it's been kind of taking a little bit of a back burner for Tamagotchi life. But I'm still going through mine, and then she's getting upset that I'm getting some of the Eevee evolution. She's like, "Hey, I told you not to get those." I'm like, "Well, you didn't say, you only really didn't say I couldn't go there early like she did." But like, well, you're too much busy playing Tamagotchi Life. So I mean, I still want to make progress in my game, and I gotta
Nice.
be hoping to try to clear it up before Yoshi and the Mysterious Book comes out later this month. So that was at least the primary Switch 2 game I was playing was the Picopia, but then I was also checking out the Quartet game that me and Barry will be doing a game chat on. I got that fired up and downloaded and did very light stuff there. It's still a lot more to get into and dive into, as it's only like a 10 minutes or whatever I had it open for. And then while I had my Switch 2 on the TV, my daughter really wanted to play some more of the Untitled Goose Game. So even though we had beat it, she just loves causing havoc as the little goose and harassing the different people within the game, so it was kind of fun to relive some of those experiences. And then we actually also um, download the update for What the Golf, which is another
Hmm.
silly, goofy game where it's basically anything and everything is becomes the golf ball. And so I mean, I saw there was like, some episodes that were released, and I don't think we went through those. So there was like a Among Us themed one that I played through, and then in addition to like a slime one that I was playing, did a number of levels on. So that was kind of fun, rechecking out some levels and stuff that I had passed on that. But yeah, I still have my trio of games. The Cookie Run Kingdom has been kind of on a small hiatus as been a lot more into the Switch games with my daughter. And then also like, even my Roblox games are a little bit down, like the not as many hours as previous podcasts were spent on my usual like Adopt Me and Dandy's World type games. Is those are kind of in between major events right now.
Did you beat Pocopia yet? Like, did you get credits?
I did not get credits. No, I think I just got to the Sky Island section and I rebuilt the Pokemon Center there, and I'm trying to build up some or find some other Pokemon there to help me do other things. I've only
Nice.
done like the Pokemon centers at like all 5 areas, and then I think only got the legendaries on 2 or 3 of the areas.
Okay, yeah,
And then I
you have to.
was,
You're almost there. Once you
yeah,
beat the game, building becomes infinitely easier. Like literally infinite easier. They give you the best ability that makes it so much fun.
but
So
yeah,
it's
yeah, I was only missing one in the little wheel thing that they have when you hit R or L or whatever it is, and so it's like
that's
I don't know if
abilities.
that's
That's the post game
yeah.
ability. Yeah. Once you get that, it makes everything like it's insane what they give you. It's like the best
Yeah.
gift.
Yeah, and I did finish building the freezing chambers and got that
Nice. Articuno.
legendary Pokemon. And then I was trying to get the next one going, but then I hadn't really played it in the last like few days, so then I didn't start the next one building because I have to make a nice flat surface for it because it's such a ginormous building.
Yeah, they're huge.
Well, that's what we've been playing. Like we said, if you haven't let us know in the chat, please let us know. Or if you're listening that's after the fact, let us know on Discord, social media, or in the YouTube comments. Let's
I do
get
want to say
in.
quickly,
Oh,
well, I want to say
yes.
thank you to Millennium Falcon for supporting Yuka Replayly. I just want to
Ah,
thank you because that's an awesome game, and we thank you for the support. And hopefully more people play that because it's awesome, and the
it
devs did a
is.
good job with it.
It's a fun game for sure. Let's get into our headlines. We got a few stories we're going to talk about tonight, including some typical updates and some other headlines that kind of seem like they're coming out of left field. So let's uh, let's jump into this, Greg, and kick us off with Nintendo music.
Well, thanks for handing it off to me because I know we were switching up with the games played at the top of the hour, so I guess Barry doesn't get to lead at all this kind of update. But here we go with the
Just shaking it up.
Nintendo Music. We do got only a few additions here. So on the 27th, we got the soundtrack for Mario Tennis Aces from the Nintendo Switch. And then on the 29th, what was only 2 days after, they added the soundtrack for Super Mario Galaxy 2. And just a little asterisk here, they did add the song Journey from the new storybook chapter that's exclusive to the Switch and Switch 2 version of Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. So if you want to hear the new soundtracks and any other the previous updates we've done in the past, be sure to check out the Nintendo Music application.
And not this previous weekend, but the weekend before that was a little event called the Final Fantasy XIV Fan Fest in Anaheim, California. The first of three, where they announced the brand new expansion coming, Evercold, as well as a bunch of new updates to the game. They're really renovating the game. And at the end of the keynote, they had the CEO of Square himself come on stage because he wanted to make a special announcement. And lo and behold, the Switch 2 logo appeared up on the screen. Everyone went crazy. Final Fantasy XIV is in fact coming to the Switch 2 and coming sooner than a lot of people expected. It's coming August 2026, and I was going to open for 1 month of free to test it, let people try it out. There is a small caveat, and it seems like this is a Nintendo thing. If you only have a Switch 2 and you want to play Final Fantasy 14, you just need the 14 subscription. That's it. You don't need NSO. if you play Final Fantasy 14 on any other platform and you also want to play on Switch 2, you need to purchase a separate subscription for the Switch 2, but you can get it at 50% off. So, like people like myself, if I want to play on Switch 2, I need to pay an additional subscription per month to play it. And that's a Nintendo thing, and that's all on Nintendo for allowing this to be there. And they didn't even want Yoshi P to come on stage and show the Switch 2 live running because they still have PTSD from E3 2010 when Skyward Sword had a little malfunction. But if you haven't gone into Eorzea yet, this is the perfect time. Because have you heard about the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy 14? Now's your chance.
Well, if you have been looking, maybe waiting with bated breath to get R-Type 3 Dimensions, or R-Type Dimensions 3, my bad, then the good news is that the digital launch will still be releasing on May 19th. And so that's the good news. The slightly bad news is that the physical release has been pushed back to August of 2026, and the collector's edition is going to be moving back to winter of 2026. However, in games they've announced, and with Strictly Limited, they've announced that to satisfy some people, they're now going to have to wait if they pre-ordered the physical edition. That you're going to be able to get a digital copy of the game even 5 days earlier than it actually releases digitally, which is really cool. And that's the press release I got. And then Barry sends me over an email that he got from Strictly Limited that also says that Switch and Switch 2 owners are going to have to pay an additional £9.99 for the code. It's not going to be free for Switch and Switch 2 owners. Other systems, it seems like they're going to be getting it for free. Switch and Switch 2 owners are going to have to pay £9.99 to get that code early.
So we had, I think I mentioned on the last episode that the Latin American Games Showcase was going to be happening over the time frame, but I guess that happened just here on May 1st. But I guess apparently no new games were announced for the Nintendo Switch or the Switch 2 during this showcase. So pretty much the announcements were specific to the PC and Steam, along with Xbox, and some of the games that they showed off were like Game Jam winner, the Game Jam winners, Luck and um, Kupabra, Billiards Night Out, and El Jaro Sataro, and they were just showcased as the winners. And then pretty much no console platforms were announced for those specific games at this time. So I guess stay tuned for any other updates for those upcoming games if they get some platforms revealed for them.
And this one goes out to Millennium Falcon in the chat because he wanted to hear us talk about it. And well, lo and behold, it was on our schedule. GameStop is trying to buy eBay. That's right. This is not The Onion. This is real life. GameStop has submitted an unsolicited $55.5 billion bid to acquire e-commerce giant eBay, proposing a mix of cash and stock at $125 per share. Led by CEO Ryan Cohen, this move aims to create a major competitor to Amazon by combining eBay's platform with GameStop's 1,600 plus physical stores. The move, however, is viewed with skepticism due to the financial concerns, and GameStop is worth about $20 billion. Where are they getting the money? They have supposedly a loan, a promised or potentially promised loan from TD Bank for 20 more million or billion, I'm sorry. But they're still 16 billion shy. Where are they getting this money? The CEO doesn't seem to know.
Yeah, that alone got me off guard. And okay, I think was it Dave that shared it in our Discord. I was like, "You've got to be kidding me." We missed, April 1st by a whole month. Like, what is this? And then they put it on a press release. Like, you can find it on GameStop's the whole thing. They're unsolicited going after eBay of all the all the places to go after. That's weird. Yeah, I'm just gonna share a couple thoughts right now from me. I actually did listen to the Nintendo Music app, Greg. I spent some time with it
Nice.
as I was doing some reading and some research recently, and I needed some stuff to like put in the background. I was like, oh yeah, they have some fun playlists on there, and so I selected one of the ones and just kind of let it play in the background. That was fun. Um, I'm excited about Final Fantasy 14. But Barry knows my woes that I've had and my horrible experience with Square Enix of being able to try to start different demos and then Square locks me out and I still haven't been able to complete more than like 2 hours of the game before they told me my demo was up, even though it shouldn't have been, and all this other stuff. So I'm expecting to have the same exact issues on Nintendo Switch 2. We'll see if it actually happens. I'll download it. I'll check it out for sure. I've already got an NSO subscription, so that's fine. I want to play through all I can from the
You
free
don't even need
demo,
an NSO.
but well, whatever it is. But like, I want to be able to play, but we'll see if Square actually lets me. And then R-Type Dimensions 3, that's just weird. I'll be playing it digitally, and so it doesn't impact me, but that's weird that of all the systems that Nintendo owners have to suffer a little bit if they actually want that perk. Um, and then yeah, GameStop, that's just strange. And I imagine we'll have a little more discussion after we can all go through the through all of our thoughts real quick on GameStop. But I'll pass it over to you, Barry. What do you think of these headlines?
All right, so Nintendo Music, I'm still not really listening to, but I think it's really cool that they added a brand new song for the new content. That's awesome. I do want to hear that, but I just haven't booted it up. Final Fantasy 14, I'm excited to see this come. I think it's needed to come to the Switch. The Switch really couldn't handle it, and Final Fantasy 14 has been one of those MMOs that learned from the biggest fault of 11. So if you were an 11 player back in the day, the biggest fault of that, and you would always hear it. The excuse was always PS2 limitations. Games on PS2, 360, PC. Why don't we have more inventory? PS2 limitations. Why don't we have this? PS2 limitations. It held the game back, even though it's dead on the PS2, dead on the 360, only playable on PC. Those mechanics are still there. 14 launched on the PS3. PS3 support's dead. It's still playable on PS4, but they pretty much announced at FanFest that you'll be able to play Evercold and maybe two more big content patches, and then PS4 is dead because they're literally out of room. Like there's not enough storage space on the PS4 to be able to hold the entire game. So that's the end of PS4 support. They're just killing PS4 support. So it's literally going to be PS5, PC, Switch 2, Xbox going forward. At least I think it's on Xbox. Maybe not. Maybe 14's not even on X. No, I think it is on Xbox. Yeah, they made it. Phil Spencer was actually
They
on
did,
stage last
because I
year.
tried it,
Yeah, it is.
and I that was one of my
Yeah, that's
issues.
right. You tried it.
Yep.
So it is on Xbox. But because of that, I know that the Switch would have held them back. Switch 2, thankfully, is not, and they're able to do it. I don't know if you could do the free trial on the Switch too.
Mm.
I know there's that 30-day period, but I don't know if you could actually do the proper free trial. And the free trial was actually extended to Shadowbringers, the entire Shadowbringers. Like I'm talking over 200 hours of content for free that they're giving you. Like there's almost no excuse not to play this game for free. No other game will give you a 200-hour
I have
demo.
one.
Well, you had a weird anomaly that happened with Square. So I don't know. My wife is talking about she might play it on Switch too, because she allow her just to do some gathering or crafting, like just sit there and be comfy on the couch, not needing the keyboard or whatever. Because ever since it came out on PS5, we used to play together down here. Now I play, and we're on Discord when we play together because she's upstairs in the warmth, on the PS5, and I'm sitting in the cold basement on the PC. We don't even get to play together anymore. But yeah, so she might do that. I might check it out. It depends also how much space it's going to take up because I'm fine with just sitting on the computer. But if you haven't played it and you're a Final Fantasy fan, you need to. It's just fantastic game, fantastic game. Let's see the R type thing. I'll be playing it digitally as well. I did not buy this physical edition. This is collector's edition. It's just too much. I'm kind of cutting back on some things. I plan to get it down the road, but that took me aback. And I noticed, and I'm sure you've noticed this too, Steve, a lot of PR companies are very stingy now with codes. They're very like, we'll give you one code, maybe we'll give you two. A lot of games we don't get three anymore. And I know personally that like if you want to get Steam codes, they're super cheap. They're pennies on the dollar. Switch are more expensive. Nintendo's more like, oh, you want codes? You're gonna pay. So that's why we've seen somewhere it's like, well, you can get one of the games I do, Chain Staff. We were able to get one NA and one EU. That's like, we'll give you an EU code. I just did it myself as an NA, return the EU code. So I understand that there is a higher cost. This tells me that it's $10 or £10 per code, and they don't want to pay. So they're not going to eat that cost. They want you to eat that cost for them. And that's, I mean, it's a nice gesture with a backhand behind it. And I'm not exactly a fan of it, but it also kind of alienates Nintendo owners. And maybe Nintendo should take notice about this and say, hey, you know what? Let's lose a little bit of our profit to make people a little bit happier and allow companies to do things like this to help them out, because they want, you want your partners, your third party partners, to be happy on your system. And if they're not happy, they're not going to get games. So let's keep them happy, Nintendo. As for GameStop, man, does anyone remember ThinkGeek? How awesome ThinkGeek was?
Mhm.
And then a company named GameStop bought it and destroyed it. Does anyone remember a company called EB Games? How awesome they were? And then a company named GameStop bought it. Anyone remember a company named Babbage's or Planet X or Software Etc. and how awesome they were? And then Funkoland, and oh yeah, there's one big conglomerate just ate them all up. GameStop needs to be stopped. Ryan Cohen needs to go sit in the corner with a dunce cap on. This is dumb. Leave eBay alone.
It's still so weird, though. I don't know if I would put eBay in the same category as all those other fun companies that you talked about, though. But
But
it
eBay
had its
is like
moment.
so much more. It's its own
Yeah.
thing.
Oh, sure. Yeah. It's weird to think back. Like, we know when eBay started, and it's so
Yeah.
different than in what it was in the beginning. And yeah, never would I've ever expected that GameStop would be going after them. and
Yeah.
unsolicited as well. Like, they're not even trying to sell. Like, as far as
No.
I know, GameStop's just like, hey, we're making an offer for you. Like, what are you
But
talking
you know
about?
how many people have livelihoods on eBay that GameStop could literally destroy?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yep.
bad enough they already destroy
Yeah.
things for their own employees. Like the
Mhm.
turnover rate in GameStop stores is terrible. They'll only keep managers on for a short bit, and then a lot of them they just cycle out. Or what they'll do is they'll have, oh, we have two stores in the area. We'll either A, close one store entirely, so now there's only one store, or they'll fire one of the managers and then have the manager of the surviving store now manage both stores, but only paid them the same amount pretty much as they were
Sure.
paying him before. And it's like, no, it's terrible. They're no GameStop. No, get the spray bottle. We need to get you back in the corner.
Yeah. And maybe go after something that you can actually afford.
Yeah, like a tuna sandwich or something.
Or maybe just the used copy of FIFA 26 that someone's trying to sell. Greg, what do you think about this great GameStop eBay thing, and then the rest of the headlines as well?
I mean, I guess kind of see why they might have been looking to get like eBay, because I mean, obviously it's a lot of like reselling of stuff that's already been out there for the bulk, like the most part, and obviously GameStop is very familiar with taking trade-ins for $1 and then reselling them for whatever $100,000. So like, it kind of makes sense that they kind of see that used market of basically everything that's not video games, but also includes video games that they want to get a part of. And
Good point.
I don't know, maybe they also lost out on the like the Jesus toast from back in the day too. I don't know, but I mean, I don't know why it's like come in so late for them to be doing this. Like, this seems like you should have done it like 10 years ago and probably could have saved some money there too, but not have to take out a loan. But I'm just, yeah, I'm just the business guy to tell them it's probably a little too late to do that. And maybe it's one of those things that you guys are saying is just buy it and shut it down and get rid of it. And like, haha, you want used video games? You have to come to us now. You can't go to this giant online
Mm.
conglomerate. So
They wouldn't shut it down, but they'd probably like charge like a membership or something. You want to sell, you need to get the GameStop Pro membership to be able to sell on eBay,
Oh.
or do you want your money within, like right now eBay has a thing where it's like if you sell, you get your money after 21 days of shipping. But if like you provide the tracking number, then you go through eBay, you actually get your money faster. They're going to be like, oh, you want your money faster? You need to have the eBay card or the GameStop card, and Pro Rewards get $5 off of your eBay purchase.
What's really funny, and like, not only can they not afford it, but hasn't I mean, it's been in the news. We've covered it here on the podcast several times where we think like where that GameStop's on the verge of bankruptcy. Several
Yeah.
like what are they doing going after a company that's worth multiplied amounts of what they're worth? Like, it makes no sense.
yeah, that didn't really make any sense to me when we like read through it. It was like company that's it's like a trying to like have like a really small like mom and pop shop. Be like, hey, I'm just gonna go out and buy Walmart. Like, here's my bid. Like,
It's like, we're going
so
down,
it
we're
doesn't
gonna
really
take
quite work
eBay
that
with
way.
us.
Yeah, well, they did the Think Geek. I don't want them to do that with eBay. I mean, something else will come up. Something else will launch, but it'll take a while for it to gain traction.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting development there, and probably have some updates as more information comes out on this bid. Maybe the eBay will just send like a laughing emoji or something back to him, like, "Huh, like, counter, we offer to buy you."
Yeah. That makes more
eBay
sense.
wouldn't even be that stupid. They know it's a failing business.
Yep, but yeah, the back to the podcast, but yeah, the Nintendo Music app, that's great to see some more stuff get added in there. I didn't check out the new song quite yet for Galaxy 1 and 2, but that's definitely something like Barry, I'll probably be trying to check out here somewhat soon. Final Fantasy 14 coming to Switch 2, that's obviously very great for everything. I mean, I just would, for me personally, I might have to see how much this subscription is because like that's obviously pretty much you're only gonna want to pay for it while you're actively playing it. It's not something I could probably do as Barry does and just like, hey, I only have to play for like whatever 30 minutes to an hour or whatever just to get the dailies and do that stuff. And like I feel like at some point I wouldn't want to just be paying for like something that's like barely playing. So I guess it really comes down to like a cost perspective to how much this subscription will be if I want to dive
Greg,
into that or not.
if you start playing 14, you will pretty much have enough content to get you through at least 500 to 1,000 hours at this point, and that's not even counting the expansion coming out next year in January.
Yep. I mean, I
Like
imagine I
you'll
yeah, I mean,
your current your the subscription will pay for itself in time. Like
yeah,
there's so much to do.
yep, and then it also comes down to time perspective. Do I have all this? Do I have 500 to 1,000 hours to put into this, or do we have like a new Zelda game coming around the corner and
That's true.
five other
Barry,
Hyrule Warriors games?
when did 14 originally came out?
It launched in 2010. It was
So
1.0.
we got 16 years to make up, Greg.
Well,
16 years.
no, there's a caveat there because 1.0 was so bad that they never actually charged a subscription. And most of us quit, myself included. We went back to 11 because it was so bad.
Hmm.
The 2.0 Realm Reborn started in 2013, I believe. So
Okay.
3 years later.
So
So it's only
13.
from 2013. So 13 years.
Only 13 years of content to make up.
But like I said, you get about 8 of those years for free on the free trial. So that's insane.
Yep, that's what I was saying. It really comes down to like a time and value perspective, and if it's something I could really dive into like super long term, because pretty much obviously Barry's been playing it on every single episode. He's always listed as one of his games played, so I have to kind of see if I have the kind of time or willpower
Well,
to keep it
I'm
going.
at that point that I do just little bits here and there. Like I have every job maxed and stuff. Like expansion time is when I put more time into it. Now it's just more daily stuff and small stuff. It's not
Yeah.
every day.
It is fun from the only a couple hours that I've been able to play it. I did enjoy it. It's a little overwhelming in the beginning because there is a lot, but they do kind of ease you into it. So, but it is kind of it took me a bit to kind of get my bearings, but I did enjoy it while I could play it.
They also showed off something because a lot of people felt the game was kind of getting stale because it's the same mechanics for 13 years. That hasn't changed. So they actually went back to the drawing board and redid every job with two versions. The standard mode they call reborn mode, which is what people are comfortable with for 13 years, and then a new one called the evolved mode where they realized they were getting too many button combinations. Like it was ridiculous. So they started combining in evolved mode. They combine abilities, and they put you would have a 3 attack chain. Like you would do one move, and then you would do another, and then another. They put it all into one button now. So when you hit the button, it magically turns into the next move of the combo. So it shrinks up. Jobs like Bard can now they have a move that you fire the arrow, but you launch yourself back, which is great to get out of AOE's. But if you were by a cliff, sometimes you would accidentally kill yourself. Now they made it so that instead of jumping back, you jump in whatever direction you're pointing at. So if you push left and hit the button, you'll jump to the left. You'll parry around while you shoot the arrow, and it creates a more dynamic action game, which is really cool because you can choose which version you want to play. There's no better or worse, but they reinvented the entire game. And going forward, all new jobs are going to use just the evolved mode because they're
Nice.
now this is going to be more streamlined. And every time you level, you just increase your existing abilities as opposed to getting new abilities that you just don't need. Just one more
Have they
button to push.
simplified the menu system yet? Because that was a little
Yes,
overwhelming.
the whole menu system is
Really?
simplified. The
Oh,
whole
hallelujah.
when you push I'll find a screenshot, the whole character configuration, they changed everything. Well, they haven't yet. They showed
But they're
us that
planning on
it's
it.
changed.
Yeah.
It's on the way. But yeah, they're changing everything to make it more
Good.
user friendly, more inviting, but they also want to keep it fresh. They know they have to change things up. And I don't know if either of you ever watched Evangelion, the anime.
Mm.
But the
Oh.
new 24-man raid are going to be about that. That's going to be a crossover with Evangelion because Yoshi P really loves the anime. So if you ever see the anime, it's like, oh, cool. They've already crossed over with Nier Automata had a crossover. They crossed over with Final Fantasy Tactics, Final Fantasy 11, Final Fantasy 3. So there's a bunch of, and if as a Final Fantasy fan, there's so much lore, you'll love it. I mean, my God, there's so much Final Fantasy love.
That's cool.
Yeah, and it's been on my backlog forever to dive into those pixel remaster ones that I bought but never played through. So it's kind of need to get super familiarized with the entire series at this point because all I have is the 2 games on Super Nintendo that I know, and that's it. Never even played the
Oh,
NES one.
wait, so you only played Final Fantasy 4 and 6?
4 and 6, yeah, yep.
Oh, wow. I thought you played more than that.
No, that's because those were the main 2 on Nintendo systems until the Switch. So, I've been trying to buy whatever 7, but I don't think I've ever loaded it up or whatever
Which
version
version
of
of
7 I
7?
did. I don't know. One of the first ones
Yeah,
that they launched, I guess. I don't know.
there's so many new
There's so
versions of
many.
7.
But yeah,
Well, it's
that's
funny. I will say Final Fantasy 14, a little 14 story. The day of FanFest, they showed off. There's a promotion with Jujube chicken or Jumblebee chicken or something like that.
Jollibee?
Jollibee, Jollibee, yeah, Jollibee chicken. I was like, oh, there's none around here. That's like a West Coast thing. Turns out there is one in American Dream, which is owned by the
Oh,
Mall of America. It's the
yep.
second biggest mall in America in the United States. Never been there, and it's right next to the Meadowlands, right where the World Cup is going to be held. So I was like to my wife, I said, "Do you want to go down there and get lunch? We've never been there before, and get a free emote." So we went and got $20 chicken to get a eat
Nice.
chicken emote in the game.
Nice. I've heard Jollibee's chicken's pretty good.
It's not bad. I mean,
Yeah.
it's funny because it's right next to a Popeyes, and I'm like, I kind of prefer Popeyes, but I want the emote, so here I am.
That's fun. Yeah, Greg, any further thoughts on the rest of the headlines? We keep getting
yeah,
distracted
not only
and
the
derailed.
second tangent during my update, but yeah. I think that was just about it because I mean it's the art type stuff. I mean it kind of really stinks to be having stuff being pushed back and then charged for a digital code, but Yeah, I mean it's gonna be kind of interesting how that situation plays out. So there's kind of that with it, and then pretty much the Latin games thing. It wasn't really anything Nintendo noteworthy at this time, but I guess time always tells if some of those games will actually do get a switch to port or whatever. So yeah, that was basically it, anyways.
Cool. Well, that's
I
oh, you got some?
I was gonna say I sent you a just on Discord. I sent you a picture of like the new equipment menus and stuff like that. Just kind
Oh,
of
okay.
just an idea of like what they're working with.
Cool.
You'll see
I'm
what I mean. How
excited,
different it is.
and hopefully I can play it.
Hope
That's
so.
what I want. I'm at this point where I'm just I want to just reach out to Square and hopefully they pay attention to me and like just just reset my account. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like at this point, like just delete my character, delete my entire thing, and just reset it. Because what they've told me is I can start a new account, but everything that I've done with Square is tied to that email address. And I'm like, I don't want to lose everything. Just reset my Final Fantasy thing. Like, I don't care. Like, I'll start over from scratch at this point. But we'll see.
And just tell them you're thinking about buying it, but you just need a little more time. And that's what you heard that the free trial was extended. And
Yeah, we'll see. Because that's the big thing. It just stops letting me use it. It's like, "Oh, sorry, your free trial's over." I'm like, "No, it's not." I know how this works. I've talked to someone who's played it for 16 years straight. I know how this works. It's not over yet. I've only played 2 hours of this game.
yeah, no, it goes on. And the free trial doesn't even end. Like it's one of those things where you're limited. I don't think you could join a free company. I'm not sure if you could actually send private messages or tells, what they call them.
Mm,
But I know your level cap is of the expansion. So Shadowbringers was 80. So that means you can get every job to 80 as long as it was in Shadowbringers or before that. You
yeah,
can't get higher than 80. It stops at 80 until you pay and then you can finally go past. But
yeah,
that's a lot of you can literally
totally.
stop and do every job to 80 before ever paying
Yeah.
if you want to.
Yeah, I think I'm like level 11 or something like that. I don't know. So, like, I've got plenty of game left that I should be able to play for free, or I should be able to
Yes.
play. Like, at
Period.
not just keep telling me that I'm done and I'm not. Um, Millennium Falcon says, I'm hoping Nintendo will make a new platformer game that is a mash-up of Luigi's Mansion and Mario Maker, where you can design and build a ghost trapping mansion with guest stars from Kirby. That would be really,
Wow.
really interesting and fun. So, yeah, let's see it, Nintendo. Let's make it happen.
You heard it here first, exclusive to Nintendo
That's
Fuse.
right. Millennium Falcons making it happen. All right, well, let's jump into our main discussion, which is probably going to take us, the vast majority of the rest of this episode, because indies are taking over. Man, like, and the bad news is we've talked about this over and over and over again. Unfortunately, I feel like every time we turn around, guys, that like there's another game studio that's closing the doors or laying off people like crazy, and yet in the middle of this people are making games on their own and they're getting really, really, really good at it. To where, the good thing is that you don't necessarily, I mean, the big publishing studios are great and the developing studios are fantastic. And you're able to usually get a bigger reach because of those and everything. So I'm not saying down with all those. I mean, Barry works for PM Studios. Keep them in business for sure. Like all those are great things, but it's really cool to be able to see that we don't like independent studios, independent publishers on their own are able to create amazing games. And in the middle of all these layoffs and everything happening, we've got so many indie games that it took 4 hours for the Indie Live Expo to happen the other day. 4-hour event on April 25th, and we saw over 200 games during that time, and all these different styles of games, all these different types of games. And so we're going to go through all the different of the over 200 games. We're going to talk about just the ones that have to do with Nintendo Switch and Switch 2, because that makes sense. We are a Nintendo podcast after all. But highly recommend that you go check out Indie Live Expo, and they do it in a number of different languages as well. So the original one is out there if you want to watch that, but they have it in English and German and French and Spanish, and it, or if you speak the language, they probably have a version of it out there in that. So that's really cool, and having their own commentary in the different languages as well. So make sure you guys go check it out, watch the entire thing, especially if you are a fan of non-Nintendo games as well. There's some really cool Steam only games that were showcased, and there frequently, as I was watching this, I was saying, please come to Switch, please come to Switch, please come to Switch. And I was like, come to Steam in August 2026. I'm like, dang it, I really want that game on Switch. Even though I have, a pocket or a handheld PC, I could technically play it on Steam. It's just I want it on Switch or Switch 2. So that was happening throughout this entire expo. But let's jump into some of these announcements and kind of talk through a little bit of them and what kind of has been standing out to us from all of them. If you're watching the video version of this episode, know that I'll be playing the Indie Live Expo during this. Again, it's 4 hours long. We're not going to talk about these for 4 hours, but I will have that going on so you can at least see some of the games that we're talking about as we're discussing it. So they separated this entire expo into different sections. And the first section is indie waves of games that are available now. So these games that you can actually play right now. So 30XX is a roguelike action game that you can play with a friend. Then we have Gunma's Ambition. You and Me are Gunma Reiwa Second National Census Edition. Yes, that's the entire name of it. And you basically turn all of Japan into Gunma. And then we have Prito Prisoner. This is a chaotic escape party game for up to 6 players that includes crossplay also. And it was one of the ones that was actually showcased during the Switch 2 reveal. So we've seen this game like a year ago, and now it's actually out. And then we have Ni Ni Ko Nico. This is a box cat puzzle game that was mentioned as having a power-up version that's coming to Steam, but this game is already out on Switch, so you can already get it. But it was kind of highlighted as they were talking about the power-up version for Steam. And then Go Go Mr. Chickums is an arcade-style single-screen platformer. And then Funimal Fusion Animal is a pixel slide puzzle for all ages where each stage is solvable in 5 moves or less, which is really interesting. And then we've got Bug Ban Break, where you keep the beat with simple controls. Stellar Wanderer DX is a space combat with open world and story-based missions. Blaze of Storm is a cyber battle shmup with over 20 bosses. And then Moonlighter 2, The Endless Vault, is a run. You can run a shop, or you can also do some dungeon crawling. You get the option to do both in this game. So it's not just dungeon crawler, not just run a shop. You get to play both roles. So again, all these games are already out on Switch or Switch 2. So Greg, I'll go to you first. Do any of these sound interesting to you? Any of these games that you're like, man, I need to pick this up, or maybe you've had your eye on them for a while since they're already out?
I mean, I kind of want to see like where that clip was for at least that one game to say it was a part of the Switch 2 reveal, and try to see if it was actually showcased for a decent amount of time or if it was just like a short little like indie reel type thing. But at least of these games that were shown here today, or for like this section or whatever I mean today, probably the Moonlighter 2, because I think I had played the first Moonlighter game, but um the shop thinks that sounds possibly interesting, along with like the dungeon crawling aspect. I do not mind like some of those play things, but um usually I also really like the puzzle games, so I might be checking out to see what kind of other like that Funimal could be a kind of fun puzzle thing, depending on what kind of puzzles and how easily they are and other stuff like that. So pretty much I think the Moonlighter 2 is like at least the main takeaway from this section, but like there's could be some other ones I dive deeper into depending on like time and everything like that as well too.
Yeah. Barry, how about you?
So 30XX I have on my Switch. I just never played it. I played 20XX. I love Mega Man, so I did enjoy what I played at 20XX. I wanted to play 30XX, just too many other things going on. But I've heard nothing but great things about it, so it's glad to see it getting some more attention. Moonlighter 2 looks good. Stellar Wanderer DX has been on my watch list, so I'm waiting for it to go on sale because it does look really cool. And I didn't have Funimal on my list, but I actually put it on my list now because, like Greg, I enjoy puzzle games, and the thought of it can be solved in 5 moves or less. It's a different kind of using your brain, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm in on that. So it's like only a couple bucks, but I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll check that one out.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you guys. Like I kind of forgot about 20XX, and so it's cool to see 30XX. Kind of I all these games, like I think I've heard of some of them, but I love the fact that they're highlighting them because I did kind of forget about a lot of them. I think or didn't see them for whatever reason. So yeah, Blaze of Storm I think was one of the ones that stood out to me. I'm always up for a good shmup, and so that seems interesting. I think the Prido Prisoner one looks really interesting as well, especially the idea of six players going at it at the same time, escape kind of party game. Um, I love having those kind of experiences, and especially when I'm around my family when we travel and stuff like that. So those kind of things could be fun if you have the right crowd, I think, to play with, for sure. But yeah, I think of these, there's none of them that are standing out to me and like I've got to get this game. I totally forgot about it. I'm gonna download it right away. But they are really interesting. Sure.
Hey, just so you know, Steve,
Hmm.
Blaze of Storm is still on sale for another day. It's
Oh,
11.99, 20% off.
all right.
So it's
Good to
normally
know.
15 bucks, but if you were interested in getting it, one day remaining, 11.99.
All right. Good to know. Well, then we had another whole section of games that they showed off that are coming soon. So these are a bunch of different games that are coming out. Really, I think the some of them were dropping right away, and others are just sometime in 2026. I believe they're all within this year. If I am glancing over my list real quick, I think they're all within this year. So we got Moomin Troll, Winter's Warmth, and this is following the Moomin series as yet another story. It's a charming but cold adventure featuring Moomin, and this game actually dropped just a few days after, so a couple days ago as we're recording this. This is May 5th as we're recording this, so just a few days ago on April 28th. So you can now get that one. Then we also are getting Dungeon Raise. This is a top-down adventure where you smash the dungeon into pieces as you progress. That's coming sometime in 2026. We're also getting The Commentator. This is a news novel where your comments actually shape public opinion. So it seems to be like visual novel adjacent, but you're actually able to control what's going on. And it a lot. It's a lot of reading, a lot of writing, and that sort of thing. But it's a different kind of game, which looks intriguing. That's coming out sometime this year in 2026 as well. We got Messelia, I think is how you pronounce that. Echoes of the Pastor. This is a 3D Metroidvania game coming out in June 2026. And then we're also getting Akatori, which is a 2D putt Metroidvania. So back-to-back Metroidvanias also coming out in 2026. And then The 100 Floor, which is an extraction action game where you will need to remove people from the where they are in the game. That's coming out sometime in 2026. And then After Love EP is a visual novel and rhythm game that's coming out on July 9th, 2026. And I believe they didn't really make this clear, but After Love, I believe, is already out. And so this EP, I think, is it's an extended play. I think it's like if you think about music, I think it's either a downloadable content for it or it's an additional version of it which has more content, I believe.
After Love EP is on the eShop right now.
Okay. So maybe
So
maybe it's just coming out something, I don't know. They highlighted it coming out in July 9th, so
it
I'm not
came
sure.
out 2/14/25,
Okay.
1999. It's available. So maybe there's new content coming, but
That's what
After
I'm
Love
thinking,
EP
new
is out.
content. Or it's new to Steam or something, maybe, even though it's already on Switch. But and that was just to kind of take a little bit of a step away from this, that was a little bit of an issue that I had with Indie Live Expo, is they ran through these announcements in the indie waves so quick that they weren't very clear. And also, I was watching the English commentary over it. So it wasn't an English translation, it was an English commentary on it. And so even though that was cool to hear it in a language I speak, I'm guessing that the original language probably gave me more details that I couldn't hear or understand. And I was just getting what the English commentators were telling me. And so they may have made that clear, but just not in English. So we'll see. Anyway, then we got a game called Reggie, His Cousin, Two Scientists, and most likely the End of the World. And this is a 2D side scroller with time travel and over an hour of cutscenes. So they really highlighted the fact that it has a ton of cutscenes in it as well. It's coming out sometime this year in 2026. We're getting Gray Tale, which is a 2.5D pixel art Zelda-like mystery adventure coming out sometime in December of this year, 2026. Underkeep is a dungeon crawler turn-based combat game like the older PC games, like where you're, looking at one screen and you're able to see all the different controls and like one 2D, but actually like almost like 1D like view of the dungeon itself. That's coming out sometime in 2026. Moonbrella is a 2D side scroller where you explore an abandoned planet with an upgradable umbrella with a goal of getting to the moon eventually. That's dropping sometime this year in 2026. The Player Who Can't Level Up is a 3D based or 3D game based on the webtoon, which I'm unfamiliar with. That's dropping in November 2026. And then we're getting finally Stunt Paradise 2, which is a physics-based car platformer with obstacles. Kind of seems like Trials, but with a car. Seems really exciting. That game's dropping sometime in 2026 as well. So let's go to you first, Barry. Any these games stand out to you?
Yeah, Dungeon Raise sounds really interesting. The commentator, like that has me really excited. Like
When I
I
saw
want to
that,
know
I was
what
like,
limits.
Barry's probably going to play this game.
What limits? Like, can you just say basic things or can you say like terrible things? Like how much sway is this game gonna have? And I'm really curious to know. Because if it's limited to where you can only say like one or two or maybe three things and sway, that's cool. But if you can really sway it, like hundreds of combinations or and really tailor your own story, then yes, I'm 1,000% there. Mizalia seems interesting, but it probably looks a little rough. Equatori, I'd probably give a chance to. What else? Moonbrella looks great. I've seen that before. That one looks really, really cool. And then the one that's like Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
Which one was that? The
That's
2D
the
Zelda
Gray Tail.
one. Gray Tail, yeah, Gray
Yeah,
Tail. That one looks interesting too.
yeah. Greg, how about you?
Sure, it'll probably be somewhat similar to Barry's list, but yeah, like definitely the Zelda-like games are right there with me as well, like Gray Tale, and I think there was one other one, but the Dungeon Race also does sound interesting. It's almost like a Donkey Kong Bonanza style game, but I'll have to kind of see how that kind of plays out because it's also an adventure game, so that's does sound pretty fun there. And then also I'm really big into the Metroidvania style games, so both like the Echoes of the Pastor and also the 2D one, the Atori 2D, are both sounding also pretty interesting to me. But Yep. A bit more this time around.
Yeah, I think like what I said, the Stunt Paradise 2, I think is very interesting. I didn't play the first one. Didn't realize there was a first one. So I don't know. All I know is what I've seen on Stunt Paradise 2, but it seems really interesting. And then yeah, I'm with you guys. The Gray Tail looks really great. So does Moonbrella. Looks really good, and Akatori as well. So those are definitely ones I'm going to look at. Dungeon Rays, I'm going to I want to know more about it first, because it seems like it could be a roguelike, but it could be one of those ones that I think I may enjoy. And especially if you could play it with other players. And they didn't, I don't think they, at least I didn't understand if they made that very clear, but it really could be really cool if it's playable with other people, and that could be really, really fun, especially if it's online, to kind of maybe gather together and play a game like that. And then the Moomin Troll stuff, like I just love that, like, those games are going great. Like, they don't stand out to me. We reviewed the first one, and I reviewed the first demo or the DLC for it. I think they're great. I just wasn't really into all those stories, so I don't get into as nearly as much as other people do. But I think they're doing a great job with that whole franchise.
Steve, good news for you.
Yeah,
If you want to give Stunt Paradise a shot,
the
it's
first one.
normally $8, but it's 70% off. The first one, it's 70% off right now on the Switch, $2.39 on the
Ooh,
Switch.
nice.
And that doesn't have a long. It's 5/8 it ends, so
Okay,
that ends in a little bit. You got a few days, but $2.39 to give it the first one a shot. That's not a bad deal.
that's not too bad. All right. Well, this last section of games, and this was a section where they got through all the waves of different indie games, and that was just like I said, hit right after one another, and then they started to take their time. About like halfway, a little before halfway through the whole showcase, they decided to slow down just a little bit and actually give some more time to explain some games and jump into some gameplay and talk with the developers and things like that. So we got into what they called the indie spotlight, and so they discussed all these games that we're going to be talking about now. Again, these are the ones that are on coming to Switch or Switch 2. So we getting, I apologize, not going to be able to pronounce some of these games. Wabi Sabi Sushi Derby. This is a game where you're going to be able to create sushi and train the sushi with over 40 different skills to win the sushi race. Yes, you're going to create sushi that's going to go and race, which sounds so silly, but also so fun. That's dropping on July 15th. And then we're getting a game called Warata. I don't know. I live next door to the Demon King's castle. LOL. And it's a tongue-in-cheek village building action RPG where you wear over 20 different job hats, from farmers to mages, and you rebuild society right next to a demon stronghold. This is coming to Switch 2 and PS5 in 2027, following the PC launch that's launching this winter. So if you want to play on PC, you can actually play it a lot sooner, but coming to Switch 2 in 2027. Hike Northern Lights, which Barry reviewed on for our site, is getting got a free update on April 30th with a brand new story set in a hot spring region and new characters and all that stuff. So if you haven't played that game, even more content for free that dropped on April 30th. Reanimal is a game that's also already out for Switch 2. This is a haunted single or co-op game that we've talked about a little bit here and there on previous episodes. But if you're into scary games, this might be for you. And then another one, and I'm going to butcher the name of it here, Tuhu Yukuri Mountain, a 3D merging puzzle game based on the Tuhu project universe. It's developed by the same team that brought us Yohane and the Parhelion Numazu in the Mirage. and this is dropping on Switch 1 and 2 sometime this spring in 2026. Crime Light is an action roguelike from Furiu, the creators of Crystar. Features a dark Bishuju aesthetic inspired by Alice in Wonderland and focuses on a girl named Alice fighting through purgatory. It's dropping on Switch 2 on November 5th of this year, 2026. Shika Q is an ultra competitive puzzle game played on a 10 by 10 board. It's available on Switch 1 and 2, or going to be available on Switch 1 and 2. And it's also going to be included in Evo Japan, or actually, it may have already passed because I think Evo Japan happened last week, I believe. Um, and it's also going to be heading into all these year-round tournaments as well. So that game came out on April 9th, 2026. But if you're into ultra competitive puzzle games, that might be something you want to look into. And then we're getting Memory of Memoiry, a chill story, which is a unique productivity game that uses a Pomodoro timer. And as you focus on your real life work, you interact with an apprentice, witch named Memory, to progress her story. That's dropping on Switch 1 and 2 in this summer of 2026. And then finally, we're getting Dungeon Crawler. That's not Crawler, that's Clawler. This is a dungeon crawler that also plays off the Claw Machine games from the arcades. And the 1.0 update that's coming will also be adding an additional hidden final boss, extra characters, and an indie live collab. And that actually dropped just a few days ago on April 30th. So lots of games they spent a little more time with. But any of those stand out to you, Barry?
For me, obviously Hike Northern Lights. I'm not gonna go back for the update, but I think that's great that there's new content. I did enjoy my time. You can see my review is here on the YouTube channel, so please check that out. If you like Zelda style games, I think you'll like it. It's an action RPG. Uh, the Wabi Sushi Derby just sounds ridiculous, in the best possible way.
Mm-hmm.
The Tohu Yukiri Mountain, I might be interested in. I didn't play the Yohane, the Parlami, and the Numazu game, but I didn't play the other one, but I have the other one, and it looks really good. It's like a Metroidvania. So depending on this gameplay, I might be interested in checking that out. Um, Prime Light is a potential, even though it's a roguelike. I've heard good things about Crystar, so be interesting to see how that one goes. And then Dungeon Crawler, like that sounds awesome. like I'm really interested to see how that one goes when that comes to Switch.
Yeah.
Or it should be on Switch now, right?
Yep. It's already out there. Yep. Oh, Barry or Greg, what do you think?
I mean, I was also kind of looking at that Dungeon Crawler game because there was actually a Roblox game that I was playing with Bella a number of weeks ago. I know I forgot to list it, but it was basically you could design like your own kind of things to win out of like claw machines and stuff. So this one sounds like it'd be a lot more like up my alley because if you have just a bunch of different claw machines, and then you obviously get I don't know if you're able to like, interact with the prizes as much. I didn't really watch a trailer yet, but just like the summary that you gave of everything is already has me pretty intrigued. Just like Barry to possibly check me watch the trailer here like probably by the end of the podcast or shortly thereafter. Um, the I Live Next to the Demon's Castle also sounds somewhat interesting. It's almost like that fantasy life and other style things where you get to do all these different jobs and get to do stuff around the village, and it's like RPG stuff. So that sounds possibly interesting as well too. Um, and then also I think that other one that Barry mentioned, like Yukari Mountain or whatever, also sounds it could be potentially interesting too. So just a number of trailers to be checking out here, and might be placing some orders here by the end of the podcast.
So
Yeah.
just so you know, I looked up Dungeon Crawler. It is actually on sale, 10% off.
Huh.
It's 13.49, but I do see that it's published by Stray Fawn, and I have a friend that at least used to work at Stray Fawn. He might still. If you guys are interested, I can maybe reach out and see if I can get us review codes if that would
Let's
interest
do
the
it.
two of you.
Hey, 10% off's great, but also free is great too. So,
Yeah, I wouldn't say no to free. So I mean, if you're able to get some, and it already sounds like could be pretty fun. So
I'll see what I can do.
all right. Yeah. Barry, I feel like I just need to mention a few more games. You just keep finding sales and deals for us. So maybe I'm excited about all these games. What other deals can you find? um yeah, I think the wabi sabi sushi derby, when they first started announcing it, it was like, this is silly. And then the more I watched it, I was like, I could potentially get into this. This is just silly enough that actually, like, this seems like it could be fun. And then Shika, I don't know if I it's like a very competitive, like, placing. It's almost like Tetris type style. So you're placing the tile, the pieces down instead of having them fall. And I think I could get into it, but I also feel like it could be like competitive Tetris, where I'll get to a certain point and then I'd be like, well, I can't compete with other people that are actually really good at with this, but it'd be fun to play. And then yeah, Dungeon Crawler seemed interesting as well. So that's exciting that it's on sale at least. So yeah, lots of fun things that they showed off for sure. And I know, like, you guys didn't get a chance to really spend a ton of time with this at all, but maybe looking at lists or even seeing some of the games that were showed off, as I was, talking through all these. Any other thoughts or anything else that stands out that maybe isn't even on a Nintendo system? We don't get it coming to Switch or Switch 2, but maybe kind of like, oh yeah, that's something else I'm excited about as well. So Barry, anything like that?
Since I didn't actually get to a chance to watch this, unfortunately, I didn't see anything else. But I will say the fact that there's a 4 hours, and just from you playing the presentation while we talk, you can see it's lightning fast, right? They're going through these things really, really quickly. It's hard to digest, and that's always something that I never like in a showcase, because I like to give a little time per game. But it just shows how much is out there. Like, there's just so many games, and unfortunately, you don't always get to experience them when they come out. You may not even know they exist until years later. So, like you mentioned at the beginning of this, there are unfortunately studios closing. The industry is not technically healthy, but there are definitely. Hey, what you have on screen right now looks really awesome. I love mech
Mm-hmm.
games. So whatever the game this is has my attention instantly. But yeah, like, it's great to see devs not giving up on their dreams, and it's just, you know, enjoy. Some of the games we have game chats coming out for, like Quartet. I've been following Something Classic for a long time, and this is their dream, and they're finally getting it out, which is great. A lot of Kickstarters that I backed years ago are finally coming out, like Elementalist just came out on the Switch, and like that was a Kickstarter from years ago, and it just came out. One of the ones that I worked with, a premium edition, which is Atomic Owl. Atomic Owl is launching this month. There's a great guy, and it's like, I want to make this game. I want to see this comes out, and it's coming out. So I love to see that. Keep supporting indies. Keep helping out. Keep just just your next favorite game is probably out there, and you just don't even know it yet because there's so many out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this game looks really interesting too. It's more of a horror game. It's like a co-op game. I can't remember what it's called, but the one that's on the screen right now too. I just love how it looks. Like, some of these games are just like amazing and incredible, like how they've been able to design them. And I'm a
That's right,
sucker
man.
for great design, but it's really cool. There's another one that has like chickens that you're playing. It was a one that's featured earlier in it, and seems really interesting as well, but it's only for Steam. But yeah, like the ones that they like, I'm just so impressed by all these indie developers, and many of them are just working out of their house, and they're able to create these amazing games. It's incredible. Greg, any final thoughts before we move on from this?
yeah, I pretty much just echo a lot what you guys were saying, and also to throw in there too. Just because it's not out on like Switch or Switch 2 yet doesn't mean that that could be eventually ported over there too. So it's you kind of never really know. It depends on how much success they see there and if they're able to even get it to work on there as well too, or even just Xbox or PlayStation. So just because it's on Steam first doesn't mean it can't come to consoles later. So um lots of great stuff was definitely shown off here, and as you guys were saying, that I was watching some of the video feeds and wish I could kind of try play some of those as well too. But as Barry always says, there's way too many games, but you still got to really support the indie devs because that's kind of what keeps them going. And if you want like a sequel to one of these games, then you'll kind of have to at least be supporting them so they're able to do so by just having that extra funds to keep going. So it's their livelihood and they want to make it big. So is
Yep.
this that dungeon? Is it that dungeon
This is
crawler right
Dungeon
there?
Crawler. Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna say that kind of lines up perfectly to finish that off. But yeah, that does look pretty fun there, just to be able to play with a claw machine. But yeah,
Nice. Go in the chat. Millennium Falcon says, Crime Light, breaking out of purgatory sounds interesting. Maybe like Hades. Yeah, I kind of got a similar impression, and actually the one of the other games that we talked about earlier, Dungeon Rays, almost kind of seems Hades like as well. So there was a couple games that kind of resembled like a Hades style of game as well. Well, that is not the only indie talk we got. There's another indie story I want to bring up. We don't have to talk about this a whole lot, but just kind of fit in with the Indie Live show, Indie Live Expo talk, and that's that we're getting a brand new Nintendo 64 game, guys. Yeah, an indie game studio that brought us the game called Donut Dodo, which is out on Switch and Steam right now. They're actually bringing this game to the Nintendo 64 as a physical cartridge. So if you've been waiting and waiting and waiting for years and years for a new Nintendo 64 game, well, the time is almost there. You can back them. They're doing a Kickstarter for this version of the game. Of course, you can go ahead and get the game on Switch or Steam already. But yeah, if you want to play it on your 64, then you need to go and back them on Kickstarter. So, Barry, do you think we'd be able to get a brand new 64 game in 2026?
You know, honestly, it wouldn't surprise me because the aftermarkets on older systems are incredible. There's so many Nintendo games still coming out. There's Super Nintendo games still coming out, Genesis, Neo Geo games coming out. Like the older hardware, there's a nostalgia for it, and there's just people that it's almost like a puzzle at this point, right? You can make a game for the PlayStation 5 Pro or the best computer out there or Series X with all the best specs, Switch 2, and you have all this almost limitless potential. But to take that and work within the confines of an older system is how do you do it? How do you make it work? What tools and tricks of the trade can you use? So there's a lot of people that use that as a challenge. Can I get this game running? And you'll see a lot of games where here's um the regular version, like Alba's Awakening is one of them. Like you can play that on your Switch, but there's also an 8-bit version that they released only for the NES. And it's like they brought it down, they demaked it, if you will, for the NES, and it works. And it's like
Mm.
I love seeing that. And I think it's great that the N64 is getting some love. This game easily can run on the 64. It's a old school arcade style game, like a lot of Flynn's arcade games are. So I'm happy they're doing it. I'm happy they're doing it through Kickstarter to see if there's an interest. And if there's an interest, this will not be the last one. I'm sure they will. Let's try and do more of them because Flynn's Arcade puts out a lot of great games. A lot of them we cover on our channel. So please check out our game chats and our reviews of them. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me to see more coming.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't make this very, very clear. If you're not watching the video version, you're like, what's this game all about? It's an old school, like single screen kind of platform puzzle kind of
Donkey
style
Kong.
game, Donkey Kong kind of style game. And so that's the idea behind it. So Greg, you gonna be getting this for your Nintendo 64?
Yeah, I'll have to potentially check it out. I mean, I mean, I don't really play the 64 a lot these days, at least outside the N64 app, but um, I do really like the N64 quite a lot. That's usually one of the ones that I find myself easier to revisit. I know there's lots of fun memes with how awful the controller is and everything else going on with it there, but and how it's like the inferior to the Super Nintendo and NES and all of that. But I don't know, like the 64 has always been a really close place in my heart, and I could even be something that I actually actually seriously like pick up because like I do really like the N64 quite a lot. So it is pretty interesting to see something that's a little bit slightly more modern than like the NES because I know like we've covered a lot of the NES games both with like Premium Edition and other stuff like that. So it's kind of nice to see him to jump up to like the 64 and who knows, maybe we'll be getting GameCube before we know it or Virtual Boy and who knows what else.
We already have Virtual Boy. There's Virtual Boy homebrew games.
It's true.
Well, Greg, I can't tell you it's on sale, but it is $5 in the eShop. So no sale this time. But if you want to try
Man.
it before you back the Kickstarter, $5 you can play it on Switch.
Well, you were doing well, Barry. I'm slightly disappointed in that one, but
I'm so sorry, Steve.
Oh man. So yeah, I think it's fun that we're getting games like this. Like I don't know if we're gonna actually if I would actually get it, but I love that this is still happening, and I think the biggest thing for me is that I need to get if I do want to play old school games, I need to get a TV that I can play them on, because all these games look horrible when you put them on a modern TV. So I need to get a CRT that I can actually connect it to and play it on. I did like I was hesitant if I was going to mention this, but it does play into old school games the other day. So I'm still trying to desperately look or have my parents desperately look for my NES that is I'm convinced is somewhere in their garage, and I'm hoping at some point they find it. But our game store in town did have an NES that they claim works. And so I did buy one the other day. I used one so that I actually have one in my possession if I do never find mine from my childhood. But it gets like a 90-day warranty, I think. And so I was like, great, I'll go home, check it out just to make sure it works and everything. And then I realized I don't have a TV to connect it to. That's gonna look decent. And so I may have to go looking on Facebook Marketplace or something like that to see if I can find a CRT that I can get for free or really cheap just so I can connect to this NES and see if it actually works.
That's why people mod them or they do like the analog NT
Yeah.
because that's exactly the problem.
Yep. Um,
I mean, I don't know if I just have like something with my eyes, but I mean, I play mine on my flat screen just fine, my regular NES. Like I play with my brother all the time. We were like enjoying like the regular like NES games, Double Dragon and other staples that we just enjoy. And like I don't get any like lags or feedback or like it's like not lining up and looks basically how it does on a CRTV to me, but it's not get stretched and like you can't really it's all blurry or extra pixelated or anything. I mean, everything looks great to me, so I don't know what's going on with that, but
maybe we need to get your style TV then.
We get
Well,
hooked up.
yeah, you had
Coaxial.
well, yeah, because like the NES, I guess, doesn't really have any way to really go outside like that coaxial like little thing, and
mhm.
I just have it plugged into that one port. I mean, there's no cable program thing plugged into the other side of it, so it's basically just that little coaxial cable into the TV, and I go to channel 3, and it loads just fine like it would on like a CRT TV.
Hmm. Interesting. Yeah. Every time I've tried to connect it to mine or I've been on other TVs, I can't look at it for longer than like 10 minutes or I was like, this is just blah. Like it's not a good experience. Not that it's horrible. And I've not had a ton of issues with lag either. I know different TVs have issues and some people have that, but it's just not enjoyable to look at. it just, for me, I think is more of the issue.
Yeah, except I think it's like a 2014 TV or something like that. It's not like it's something I just bought like in the last year or two or anything like that. But
Hmm.
I don't know. Like I don't know if it's just something where I don't really care if it's not like 100% exactly as on a CRT or whatever, but it looks and plays like how I would expect it to. Otherwise, I wouldn't be still playing it on there, to be honest.
Hmm. Yeah. I guess, I mean, I could always just try to hook it up to the TV that I have and see how it looks. I mean, I at least want to make sure that it plays well, so I can know if I want to keep it or return it. Um, so that'd be the main thing. And then if I actually want to play it, then I'll maybe look into actually getting a CRT. But I guess I could at least hook it up to my flat screen and and see if it works or not. Let's move on to our last section, and that is the upcoming games. So, our next episode is going to be in just a couple weeks on May 19th. Of course, we do this every other Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Hope to have you guys join in the live chat as we're streaming on YouTube and Twitch. But until then, we've got some games that are coming out over the next couple weeks. And I'm going to be scrolling them on the screen thanks to Metacritic, the list that they've provided for us. But just a few games that I want to highlight that are on the list. And maybe there's some others that stand out to you guys as well. But on May 7th, we're getting Mixtape. And then May 12th, we're getting Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. May 14th, we've alluded to this already, but Soldner X2 and also the Soldner X Complete Edition, both dropping on May 14th. May 15th, the next day, we're getting Harvest Moon, The Winds of Anthos Complete. And then on May 19th, a game we've talked about already, the digital version of R-Type Dimensions 3, and also Farming Simulator. I thought maybe Barry would be excited about Farming Simulator. All those simulator games, especially those games that you might be able to cause just a whole lot of chaos. Any of those games or others that maybe have stood out to you that you're going to be playing in the next couple of weeks, or you're going to be working on any of the backlog? What do you think, Barry?
Well, Soldner X2 I've already played. I'm going to be doing a game chat, and R-Type will be doing. I'm sure you and I will be doing a game chat on that one, Steve. Um, Atomic Owl, like I mentioned, is coming out May 20th. So that's really cool to see. And the next big game I'm looking forward to is Yoshi. So this is a rare time where I kind of can relax a little bit before moving on to the next big game. And Table Flip Simulator comes out right after Yoshi, and that one's one of ours. So check that out. That's a fun game, let me tell you. That is a fun game.
Nice. Greg, how about you?
Well, Barry also missed the Quartet is releasing on the 12th, it said, so that's like
Yes,
next week.
that's true.
So yeah, we have that. Me and him will be doing a game chat on that one, hopefully close to release time here. But that might be the only one that I saw. But I did have a side comment that maybe Barry does want to get the farming simulator as long as you can go attack the farmer and run him over with the tractor or something, and lets you do stuff like fun stuff like that. But it's probably not going to be there for him. So
Yeah. I don't know how many of you guys got Poopy Time. You know, if you didn't end up getting Poopy Time from last time, but you know, I wanted you guys to like look into it. It's so funny. Like
Barry's been on
as I
mute.
was
He's been trying to say stuff.
he's trying, but he's not, didn't realize he's on mute there.
Oh, yeah, I am. Did you hear my commentary on that?
I did, but I
Yeah.
was a little disappointed he didn't look into it though.
I'm sorry. I'm
So
sorry. I did not look.
let me just read this because it came out last time. It's $1.99. It's on sale. So, you know, talking about sale
Ooh,
games, it's
wow.
normally $4.99, but 60% off down to
Man.
$1.99. This is what this game is all about. You get a whole 2 sentences or 3 sentences in the description. Gather and eat as much food as you can until you can't stand it anymore. Find a secluded corner and show everyone what you've got. Just don't get caught by the guards. See, that's why I put it in the list.
We see you should put a note Read
I really should.
description.
I really should. I
Read
thought
description during the podcast.
I really like. You really need to
And I
look
would have.
into this. That's what I should have put in there.
I would have done that, but I didn't. And I'm just reading through, and I'm just like, poopy time. Did he just want me to say that? Like, okay, sure. Steve suggests we all play poopy time. You know.
I really do. It's $1.99. It may be pretty funny.
So, are you playing poopy time,
Yeah,
Steve? Is that
I
what's on
haven't. No,
your?
I was waiting for the sale, and now
Now you got
I have
one.
no excuse now.
there you go. All the money that I'm saving on these other games that Barry's pointed out. Now I can go get poopy time. Uh, no, I'm gonna be playing some race. The Rocket Arena Car Extreme. I did get I downloaded the demo for Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, and so I figured I'd check that out at some point. Yeah, a couple other games. I haven't tried Pokemon Champions yet, so yeah,
It's
there's
fun.
several games I wanna play around with now that I am not traveling all the time right now. So hopefully I'll get a chance to play some of those, and of course continuing on with Pokemon ZA, and hopefully eventually beating that game at least. But yeah, I think of the upcoming games, R-Type is probably the one that stands out to me of all those for sure. And then excited about Yoshi, which is dropping right after our next episode. So, well, that brings us to the end of this episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, if you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to do that on your favorite podcast app or on YouTube. Also, be sure to share this with others. Be sure to like it on YouTube. If you can, leave a positive review on your favorite podcast app. Do that as well, because that really helps us kind of be discovered out there. And you may think, well, what's in it for me? Well, the more discovered we are, and the more people listen, the more our community grows. That makes this podcast even better because we are interacting with you guys. We want to make this as best as we can for you guys. Like, we enjoy talking games, but this is really for you as well. And speaking of you, we are trying to do some Patreon stuff. And so if you haven't yet, be sure to hop over on Discord, hop over on social media, send us an email, podcast@nintendofuse.com. Let us know what you want to see on this Patreon. We're hoping to launch that sometime this year. And again, we want to make sure that we're creating things for you. So all those different reasons are why we want to grow this community and make this all for you. But those of you guys that have been around for a while, or just even jumping in this week for the first time, thank you so much for being here with us. Barry, any closing thoughts?
No, just honestly, hopefully you're all doing well out there. Hopefully everything is good, and you're getting some time to game and spend time with your family, and you're not suffering from allergies like we are. And if you are, then I'm sorry. I feel your pain. But yeah, just happy gaming. Just have some fun. There's a lot of great stuff coming out still this year. A lot of speculation coming in. We've got Summer Game Fest, not for next podcast, but probably the one after, and presumably a Nintendo Direct. We'll be talking about in an episode or two. So we'll see how many of our predictions are right. It had to be kind of interesting to see if any ports are announced, then we can go, oh, you know what? We did talk about it. And Greg is like, oh, never happening, Steve. I agree. And here it is. Nintendo's like, here it is. I got it.
Yeah. Greg, any
I don't
closing
mind
thoughts?
being wrong. I mean, I don't really
I
mind
know.
being wrong. I'd rather be proven wrong and say, here's every Fire Emblem game in existence. Like,
Exactly.
that first one we only let for sale for a month. Well, now it's back forever. So just to make Barry happy to say, like, we didn't delist this game. It's back for now. So
There's 3D All Stars. That one's still dead, too. Come on, so stupid.
Yeah.
yeah,
It'd be
but
great.
yeah, I mean, so I'm happily proven wrong. But yeah, I mean, next few weeks will be nice to get some more time into the quartet along with Picopia, get everything all set and closed out so I can enjoy some Yoshi and the Mysterious Book with you guys. So yeah, it's probably what biggest stuff coming up. I know Bell's school year will be over before I know it, and then it'll be lots of summertime fun. So just lots of games to play and happy gaming all over the summer, all summer long.
Well, thanks again for being on this episode with us. And for those of you guys that joined us live in the chat, thank you guys for joining us and hopping into the conversation and talking with each other and stuff. If you've never joined us live, please do so. Every other Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time, normally. Last episode was a little earlier because of different things, but typically that's our regular time. And we love interacting with you guys throughout that time. So if you're free, make sure you hop over and join us for a live recording on YouTube or Twitch. But that's a wrap for episode 337. We'll be back again. Our next episode we'll be recording live on May 19th, 2026. But until then, happy gaming, everybody.
Have a good one.
See you next time.